Hello and welcome to week 5 discussion. For this week I decided to write a script so I can stick with a not so long video on my explanations. To the week 5 discussion video, and I will be describing Jean-Jacques Rousseau's argument that ideal education emphasizes the epistemological growth of the individual over education solely for society's needs. As seen in social contract theory, Rousseau was a philosopher and writer who lived in the 18th century. He is famous for his views on education and his beliefs in the importance of natural education. In his book, Emily or Education, Rousseau lays out his vision for an ideal education that prioritizes the growth of knowledge and understanding in the individual. In Rousseau's Emily selections from Book 2, as we read in this week, Rousseau in Education, Rousseau argues that education should be focused on the needs and interests of the individual rather than the needs of society. He believes that each child is unique and should be allowed to develop at their own pace, without being forced to conform the expectations of society. According to Rousseau, ideal education should emphasize the epistemological growth of the individual, which means the growth of knowledge, understanding, and critical thinking skills. He believes that education should encourage children to ask questions, explore their interests, and develop their own ideas. And with this part, I totally agree. Rousseau also argues that education should not be solely focused on teaching practical skills or preparing children for specific careers. Instead, it should focus on developing the whole person and preparing them for life in general. In contrast, also, Rousseau in Education defends some ideas such as not teaching languages before 12 years old and not using fables in education, which I understand from his social context perspective, but I partially disagree comparing to nowadays. Rousseau believes that education solely for society needs can be harmful for the individual. And here we return to some concepts that we have seen last week. He argues that when education is focused on teaching practical skills or preparing children for specific careers, it can limit their intellectual growth and prevent them from developing their own ideas and interests. So Rousseau argues that education should be designed to help children develop their own intellectual abilities and interests so that they can become independent thinkers and contribute to society in their own unique ways. In conclusion, Rousseau's argument that ideal education emphasizes the epistemological growth of the individual over education solely for society needs is an important one. He believes that education should be designed to help children develop their own intellectual abilities and interests so that they can become independent thinkers and contribute to society in their own unique ways. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you found it informative and thought-provoking. Please leave your comments on our discussion, and thank you for watching this week's video.